Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and today we're going to continue our studies. We're going to talk about volume. So let's get going. Volume is the measure of the number of cubic units needed to fill the space inside of an object. The formula for finding volume of object depends on the type of object being used. It's the area of the base times the height of the object. Here I have a little game I would be playing with my students where they would drag the name of the object to its correct representation. So you can play that in your spare time, see if you know which one goes with which. First thing we have is the formula for finding the volume of a cube. The formula is for volume length of a side times the length of a side times the length of a side, or just the length of the side cubed to the third power, some say. So let's do an example. Find the volume of the following cubes. Remember to express the answer in cubic measurement. So I'll only do the first one. Here we have a cube which has a side length of 3 inches. So we would have 3 times 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27 cubic inches. So remember the length times length times length, or length of the side to the third power. That would give us our answer of 27 cubic inches. So here are two for you to try in your spare time: 8 inches and 5.5 inches. Volume formula of a rectangular prism. The formula is similar to that of a cube, where the side length times width times height are the dimensions, whereas a cube had all the sides equal. So let's find the volume of the following rectangular prisms. Remember to express your answer in terms of cubic measurement. So we have 6, which is the length. And this time I'm going to get my calculator to help me out a little bit. So let's move this over a little bit. So we have our side 6, which is the length, times 3, which is the width, times 4, which is the height, and that'll give us 72. So our volume of this first rectangular solid will be 72 cubic centimeters, sorry. So here are a couple more for you to try with 2, 3, and 8, 12, 2, and 2. You might be surprised at the answer. Check your understanding. See if you understand it so far. If you don't, just go back and watch the video or write down your questions. I'll be glad to answer them in the morning. Let's move on to our next figure, which is the volume of a cylinder. A cylinder volume is pi r squared times height. So we have our good old formula, the area of a circle, and we're going to use that by multiplying it by the height, because it's the third dimension, and we're going to round off to the nearest tenth for cubic measurement. So we're going to definitely need our calculator, because we got to use the pi button. So I know you're tempted to use 3.14, but pi button is much more accurate. So here we have the height, which is 12 inches, and here we have a line that goes from the center to the end of a circle. That would be the radius. So pi times radius squared, so the radius is 3, and I'll put a square on that. So that's the area of a circle, and we got to multiply that by the height. The height is 12, and that'll give us 339.29, and we got to round this to the nearest tenth. So let's drag that over. So we look at the 2, because that's where the tens place is. We go next door. If it's 5 or above, we would give the 2 a shove. If it's 4 or below, we would let everything go. So it is more than 5, so we're going to shove up the 2 by 1, and we'll get 339.3 cubic inches. So here's 2 more for you to try. And I noticed this line is a long line, not short like the other line. So there's a difference between these two. So if you remember your video on circles, you'll know the difference between those two. So check your understanding, see if you understand it so far. If you're still uncertain, watch the video again or write down your questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Here's our next one, the volume of a cone. Find the formula. The formula for finding the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times the height. So a cone is like a circular cylinder. It has a circular base, but it goes down slanted, like it's 1/3 of the right circular cylinder. So we're going to use our calculator again because we got to use our pi button. So let's get our calculator up. Let's clear this. So 1/3, back that up a little bit. 1/3. And now our good friendly formula pi r squared for the circle base. So the radius is given. It goes from the center of a circle to the edge of a circle. So it's 7. And don't forget to square that. And we're going to multiply that by the height of the cone. So the height is 8 centimeters. And the answer is going to be 410.50. And we have to round this time to the nearest hundredth. At hundredths is 0 at the 0, 2 places after the decimal point. So we go next door. Remember, if it's 5 or above, we would shove up the 0. If it's 4 or below, we would let everything go. So this is 1, so we're going to leave everything go. So our answer is going to be, let's scroll down a little bit, 410.50 cubic centimeters. So here's 2 other examples for you to do, and give them a shot. I think you'll do good. I noticed the height over here is outside this time, not inside like here. Remember, check your understanding. Rewatch the videos if you have to. If you're still uncertain, write down your questions. And our last volume formula we're going to do is with the volume of a sphere. So find the volume of the sphere. A sphere is a ball. The volume formula for that is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we got to use our pi button again, and this time we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So let's get our calculator up again. So let's clear this. So 4/3, our fraction button, thirds, pi r cubed. Now here is the radius. It goes from the center of the sphere to the edge of the sphere, and it is 8 centimeters, so 8. And we're going to use this button. It's the little caret button, which means telling the next number to go up to a power of 3, so cube. So now let's press enter. There is our answer for this one. So 2144.666, and we're rounding it off to the nearest tenth this time. So the tenths is the first spot after the decimal, and we go next door. If it's 5 or above, we're going to give this a shove, and we're going to shove that up by 1, so that'll be 2144.7. So here are two more for you to try. I notice this one has a line that goes down the center of the sphere. So check your understanding, see if you understand it so far. If you're still uncertain, watch the video again or write down your questions and bring them in the class, and I'll be glad to answer them. Here's a couple questions that you can try on your own. What is the volume of an ice cream cone that has 4.5 inches high? That is 4.5 inches high and has a diameter of 3 inches to the nearest tenth. And here's a nice one about a tetrahedron. That's a pyramid with a triangular base. If the area of the base is 66 square centimeters, and the volume of the tetrahedron is 330 cubic centimeters, what's the height of the pyramid? That's a good question. So I hope you found our video informative and easy. So let me know if there's anything I can do for you in class tomorrow by bringing in your questions. I'll be glad to answer them. This is Dr. Robinson signing off. See you next time. Bye-bye.